Wait a sec. Okay, so we've got a Chris Froome analysis here. Chris Froome Tour de France is going well, isn't he? He's going to win, just like I said. Let's get to the video. Singing yada yada yada. Hold the fucking wheel. Here's Chris Froome's legs. Are these Chris Froome's legs? But his legs look really similar to this. And that vascularity, you can see the upper body there, pinning on the number one. Pinning on the number one, which is Froome's number for the Tour de France. And just like I said, he's going to win this 2017 Tour de France. Just like I said, his face is just so fresh. His face is so fresh. He doesn't appear to be as lean in the first 2 weeks as he was in previous editions, but he's leaned it up now. This is an old photo, but he's leaning up now in the third week. I watched some footage last night and on YouTube there, and it's hard to get much footage here in Thailand. I'm not that technology sophisticated, but this is Chris Froome's body fat. What body fat percent do you reckon he is? Now you've got to remember though that body fat isn't just about, you might have the fat in around the organs or in the intramuscular fats. So either way, you're light, you're lean. Doesn't matter about that as much as it matters how much power you can put out. So anyway, so here's some footage here of me on the back of Team Sky. This is in Adelaide. This is for Tour Down Under. And we have Ian Stannard of the Red Hope Hub. We have Chris Froome on the right in the blue jersey. And we have to my right, direct right, as you'll see soon, is GT Geraint Thomas, who unfortunately crashed out of the Tour de France this year. But you can see these little guys are very, very lean. But I would say that I'm leaner than Chris Froome this time of year, definitely. Tour de France lane's a little bit different, but I'd be definitely happy to jump on the scales there, the BMI, similar to Chris Froome. But the difference is the power, all right? So there's a lot of discussion about protein and all this stuff, but you don't need much protein as a cyclist because your goal is watts per kilo, you know, and the watts per kilo isn't 1,000. It's like 400. You want to have about 400 watts as your threshold. You want to be able to hold at least 400 watts for an hour to be a half-decent professional rider. If you can't hold 400, then, you know, and not just hold 400, but hold that after 5 hours of racing for an hour, or at least 30 minutes, you know, to do your domestic work on the front. So if you can't do that, then you've got to be pack filler in most pro races. So, I mean, there's a lot of riders who can't do that, and they're still pros, but they're pack filler. Let's be honest, they're bottle carriers, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's all different types of riders, different types of skills, etc. But you have to have that watts per kilo. And that's not protein, that's carbohydrate based. Every day in the Tour de France, you need that carbohydrate, that muscle glycogen and water. When you're pushing 400 watts up that Col de Galibier, you're not burning through excess fat or excess protein. You're burning through excess carbohydrate. So you need that carbohydrate every single day. And every single half an hour, these guys are snacking on carbohydrate. They're eating the carbohydrate. And there's some idiots on there on the internet. I'll call them wankers, low-carb wankers. And they're saying that you can perform at a high level in ketosis. On low carb, you can't. And then none of these people have got power meters. None of these people know how to push 400 watts or what it feels like. So go and try and push 400 watts or 6 watts per kilo for a minute or 30 seconds when you're in ketosis. It's impossible, no matter how much EPO or whatever you're taking. You need those carbohydrates. So the most important thing every single day for these riders, first of all, is water. You have to have that water. If you dehydrate, your blood volume's dropping, you know, your plasma's dropping, and it doesn't matter how fit you are, you're not going anywhere if your blood volume's dropping. So hydration is really, really, really important. You've got to have that water. If you don't have enough water, your blood volume's going to be dropping. And your urine, your SPG, your urine-specific gravity, which you can measure by a VIX3 factometer, that's going to go up. So if your USG, your urine-specific gravity concentration is going up, then you're going to be going down in performance. Your watts are going to drop. Next we'll have is carbohydrate. We need that muscle glycogen. All these efforts are fueled not by body fat, not by protein, but by muscle glycogen, sugars. All right. So whenever someone gets dropped on a climb, whenever they go from 400 watts down to 300 watts, you know, and they're pro rider, that's not because they're not fit. That's just because they ran out of carbohydrate. In the Tour de France, if you're in the front group of the Tour de France, you know, on that last climb, you do what it takes. You know what to do. So if all of a sudden you get dropped when just a minute ago you were flying, that's you ran out of sugar, ran out of muscle glycogen, you're bonking, assuming you're hydrated. So the next second most important thing is that muscle glycogen, those sugars, the simple sugars. That's why you see these guys, they smash in so much refined sugar, sports drink, gels, bananas, all these processed simple sugars, simple sugars just getting it going. Even their rice, they cook their rice, white rice to make it high glycemic index, get in the muscles, get it going. And they have the jam sandwiches, just sugar, fruit rice sugar. And that's why they're so lean and perform so well. But then they get caught up, a lot of riders get caught up in their team nutritionists' low-carb, high-protein bodybuilding diet dogma. And it's if you're a pro cyclist where every fucking 100 grams matters, every 100 grams matters in the Tour de France, you're, after 3 weeks of racing, I mean, the race can be separated by 6 seconds. 2007, the race separation between Contador and Cadel Evans was 23 seconds after like 3,200 Ks, whatever, 23 seconds. So every 100 gram counts in the Tour de France. Every 100 gram counts. So if you're eating this protein diet and you gain a kilo of muscle on your upper body, that doesn't help you at all. Gaining muscle on your legs doesn't help you. That's why you see, look how skinny Chris Froome's legs are in the Tour de France. They're skinny. Look at Romain Bardet, skinny. Look at Warren Barguil, skinny. Look at Iran and Aru, they're skinny little stick legs. So this whole thing about building lean muscle is absolute rubbish. It's bullshit. It's nonsense. And these nutritionists in the teams are just basically smoke screens. None of their information is legit. These riders know what to do. They didn't get to pro ranks by chance. They know how to eat and drink enough carbohydrate. And sure, some of them could eat a bit more carbohydrate and get a bit more performance. But let's be honest, if you're at pro level, you've obviously, especially at Tour de France level, then you know how to eat more and drink better and more consistently than your teammates who didn't get selected typically most of the time. So these team nutritionists just sincerely wrong. And a lot of them just talk a lot of wank. They go, oh, I got a PhD in nutrition biomechanics. That's just bullshit talk so they get a contract for next year. It sounds sexy to the team managers or the sponsors or whatever. Where's the budget going? Oh, we employed such and such from the University of Cambridge or Harvard or whatever, and specialist in nutrition. It's like, but they've got no idea what it's like to ride 3,000 Ks in a week or 2,000 Ks in a week or 600 Ks in a day. They've got no idea. So how can you employ someone who has no idea what it takes or what riding at 400 watts feels like? How can you employ someone like that to coach people who that's what they do? It's insane. It's like having a dentist with all fucked up teeth. You wouldn't go to a dentist like that. You'd go to a dentist who's got the fucking straight teeth or getting the results, man. You wouldn't go employ some fat nutritionist or some bodybuilding nutritionist to coach cyclists where 100 grams matters. At the top level, it's a silliness, and that leads to eating disorders or excess drug usage. And that's just, we see that all the time, man. See it in ballet, see it in dancing, see it in running, where people they start using more drugs than they need to when they could just get the weight loss through diet, or they overtrain when they could just look at their diet and look at metabolism long term. And people try and get these fast results quick. The faster you get the results, the faster you're going to crash, Right now, I could start using EPO, get some crazy results in 4 weeks, or I could train for a couple of months and get the same results. And if I train for it, I'll keep the results longer. The EPO results last a couple of weeks, and then you're back to normal almost. So if you're going to use anything, make sure you're at your peak form naturally, and look at your diet, look at ways to improve marginal gains. Wait a sec. Burdetts Road, Little Italy, heading out with the Team Sky boys, Ian Stannard, Chris Froome, Geraint Thomas. On my far left, you can see a wheel just poking through. There you go. That's Long Lee from Sydney, and he's down in Adelaide checking out the Radelaide scene, and he's having a good time. His progression in the last 2 years has been pretty spectacular. He's been learning the cadence and learning the ways of the compact crank, and he's doing really fucking good. So good work, Long. You did very well. We've all been pretty proud of you. Progression over the last couple of years. This year, spectacular effort, mate. Little Italy, Burdetts Road. Basically, I've done 2.5 hours on the bike. At this point, I was on the bamboo bike, pretty sapped. I got a bit of a leg injury at the moment. Just hit my leg on a desk, so I wasn't really planning to do any wattage, but no excuses today because I got to get the footage for YouTube. I got to do my job, alright? So I just had to ignore my leg that was just aching like fuck. Cork leg. I'm riding up Cork Leg Road on my bamboo bike, trying to hold Chris Froome's wheel and the boys just to get some footage for you guys. So hope you're happy with that. But I was happy. I was grateful for the moment, and it's just good to go out cruising in the hills and share the local roads, see what some of the other riders think international. They love it here, man. They fucking love Adelaide. I know Geraint Thomas comes here early and stays late just to get the quality training in that Adelaide can provide. The weather's fantastic. Nice sunny day that day, but just so much roads. I mean, there's plenty of roads I can show these guys on as well that not many people don't even know about. It's unlimited. So we're doing 500 watts. Look at that. 500, 460, 11%, 12% gradient. You can sort of see on the far left we have gradient, which means the steepness of the road, power,